Unborn Children, 11th December, 1979. In sleep, consciousness is dormant. When you get up, consciousness says, I had a good sleep. You can give it any name you like, body, mind, but it is an attribute that was dormant in sleep. It is not the senses telling you. The food body will always have desires. Beingness is the fragrance of the same body. Prior to it, I did not know myself. It was an experienceless state. Suddenly the 8 clues, 5 elements, and 3 gunas of experience and knowingness were fed lots of information. Birth, body, and so forth. With all this, I started suffering. My guru initiated me into an inquiry about myself. Did I experience my birth and parents? I hadn't, so I rejected it. In the process, I started investigating my own beingness. It was a temporary state, so I have disposed of it. I am free from fear now, as I know this state will go. I have no fear of my beingness because I will experience the same, the going of beingness. Because of concepts, I considered myself a personality, and due to this conceptual state, my true state suffered. Just as I admonish you, I listen to my friends. Their thoughts talk to me. Even visions appear. I tell them to shut up. I admonish thoughts and visions. Will anybody quarrel with his thoughts? When these foreign or alien thoughts are kept aside, the self starts sprouting and imparting knowledge. Then it is the realized principle that prevails, which was never created but behaves as though created. Who observes or witnesses then? I, the Absolute. If there are no thoughts, then there is no fear, and then the self sprouts. In the absence of beingness, what have I been doing? My unborn children, what are they doing? The same thing that I did prior to the appearance of this beingness. World, mind, and all are expansive. How did this calamity occur with the arrival of beingness? So I must investigate the cause of the trouble that is beingness. Think how you came into this body complex instead of investigating the world. The body falls down, but what happened to me? For that principle for which you get no reply is perfect. Whatever answer you get is wrong. If I think of this world, why should I not inquire about prior to consciousness? If I tackle this question, I must investigate what is this principle of I am. I would prefer to play with that child not born because eternal Parabrahman and unknown children are alike. You want to have knowledge. What do you mean by that? Hold on to that principle which understands, recognizes thoughts, and be quiet. For your own sake, what are you? Investigate that. Forget who is torturing whom. Stabilize in your most confidential being as you are. What are you? Investigate the problems of manifest world can be solved later. There is no right answer to who you are. No answer is the most correct one. Any reply you get is not eternal. That eternal, unborn principle is now talking which has been accused of birth. I feel I am guilty. Whatever guilt you accept, you have to suffer. In a country not visited, a robbery occurs. The police arrest you here. If you accept, you suffer, maybe a life term. I don't accept the charge. I have not visited that place. I am not a robber. I plead that my own guilt is that I accept that I am born. Give it up. I was not born on my own with my knowledge. I had no knowledge of my beingness. The Absolute has no scope. It's unborn. Prior to my appearance, beingness, it never occurred to me that I was. So where is the scope for feeling guilty either? If you had wisdom, you would reject beingness. No body means no knowingness, no consciousness. In the original state, the 5 elements and the 3 gunas are not there. The one who assimilates what I say now has no reason to be unhappy. The world is full of emotional unhappiness. A worm spawns out of decomposed food. I am not that worm. Although made of food, beingness is product of food. In order to realize the self, catch hold of the knowledge that you are. Do so at the feet of your guru. Your beingness means Iswara. That is guru too. That is the self. Feet means charan. Char, to move. That gives you movement. That principle, beingness, starts movement. The merging of the individual with the universal comes to be by sadhana, practice. The 5 senses of action and 5 senses of knowledge, do they act on their own? The 5 elements give rise to the 5 senses of knowledge. For manifestation, 8 of them, the 5 elements and the 3 gunas produce the essence. The sattva guna produces the manifest world of forms. The knowledge that I am is simultaneously created. What is created is the knowledge of existence. The individual assumes that his knowledge belongs to him. There is individual existence in this room, but the whole manifest world is Iswara. Iswara is like a city. He is there. As you believe that you are an individual, you die. The difference is that the individual dies, while Iswara, the entire manifestation, does not die. It has no limitations like those of the individual. I am experiencing the manifest world, but prior to it, I experience the bindu, the point. When I am that bindu, everything is, the world also is. The bindu and the world are not two. Bin means without and du means two. So no duality. Bindu, the point of I amness. I experience that. What is it? It is the experience of the 5 elements and the 3 gunas, the whole universe. That is my intimate relationship with that I am only, bindu only. You go on pilgrimages so that good should happen to you as an individual, but you are not an individual. You are the manifest world. That you are means the entire world. Whatever manifestation you enjoy is universal. This knowledge is for the few rare ones. But instead of that manifestation, you are. You hang on to individuality. Whatever is observed in the manifest world is your own self. The observer is I am. It is a receptacle of the 5 elements and the 3 gunas. The entire universe is in activity because of the 3 gunas. The play of the entire world is based on the 5 elements and the 3 gunas. But you cling to your body. The body is also a play of the 5 elements and the 3 gunas. The whole universe is in full play. It is like urination. You are one drop if you consider yourself to be an individual. A drop of ocean is salty, and the salty taste is the knowledge I am. Suppose that drop dries. The ocean does not care. A drop of ocean drying on the rock. Similarly, in the 5 elemental play, you are a drop. Either survive or die. The elemental ocean is unconcerned. But how to understand this manifest nature? Be the taste. Understand the taste. Millions of drops dry up, but the ocean is unconcerned. Millions die, but how are the 5 elements concerned? Because you limit yourself to the body, you suffer. The realized one can entertain no idea of good to himself. For him, even if the entire world is destroyed, nothing happens. The realized one is, of course, no more a person. There is nothing else except the core of yourself, bindu. Nothing else is. Only Krishna said there is nothing else. You meditate incessantly to achieve samadhi, but this knowledge will sprout from you only. Since I am prior to that consciousness, I talked of bindu. Now, what happens to consciousness when you are prior to it? In the waking state, how do you find out as though you are asleep? What do you do in deep sleep? Visitor: just be? Do you enjoy that just be? No. Your beingness is not enjoying. Being is deep sleep. Are you aware of being male or female in deep sleep? Find out what you are. You know you are. Find out then. Whatever are its requirements, you will know. The subtle food essence is life. Subtler still is the quality of knowingness. The knowledge you are is like a particle of the sky. It is more subtle than space, and it can recognize space. What connection has it with life? The whole life is endured and sustained by the knowledge particle I am. Without I am, there is no life. They are interdependent, not one without the other. I am prior to the I am, which is true, eternal, and immutable. Beingness, world, and body are time-bound. Your life is not forever. It rises and sets like the waking and sleeping states alternate. The totality of manifestation thrives as long as the beingness is there. Rainwater has no taste, but out of it you get so much, you add ingredients to it and drink. I give you pure food, but you find it tasteless, so you pollute it. You add salt to the food for taste's sake. Beyond Concepts, 13th December, 1979. I belong to the nature of everything and yet nothing. I take my stand not in the movement, but in the original. Whatever you can say can only be in the movement, in the consciousness. I take a stand prior to consciousness, the movement. I am not concerned with your reactions. The positive and the negative will depend on your reactions. But I am unconcerned. I have no means of demonstrating my true nature. Words come out from the condition in which I am. To accept these words or not is your problem. I talk because you have come. You are the destroyer of body-mind. I am not concerned with reactions. But there are physiological effects. I respect them, but I am not concerned with reactions. It is according to your attitude, right or wrong, incomplete or complete, that results would correspond and the reactions would affect you. Words come to me because you are here. In relation to my words, who says what? I am unconcerned. I am like space. You come and go. I am immovable, eternal. I am not involved in the actions of the 5 elements. Nothing touches me. I am immutable. Try to understand. The suffering will be yours if you take any sample as it will relate to the 5 elements. I am not in that realm. In the manifest state, the 5 elemental play has shape and design. I have no shape. If at all, I embrace the elements. It is because everything is myself, the design of the elements, not mine. Rajneesh gives various concepts. I cannot be grasped by those concepts. Concepts are yours. I am not involved in the conceptual world. So when you look at me, I am not a person. I am the manifest, not individual. If you want to attribute form to me, it will relate to the 5 elements and 3 gunas. The 5 elements disintegrate, but I do not disappear. For instance, I am invited to some place to stay. The room in which I stay becomes my room, but does it belong to me? All belongs to the 5 elements. The essential contribution of the 5 elements is the I am. The 5 elements disintegrate. The I am goes, and a person is declared dead. Wherever I go to stay, I always know my permanent abode. Rajneesh expounds knowledge about concepts. They, many, speak on the basis of concepts, not from the stand prior to consciousness. Presently my true state is different. you are devoted to my form as the 5 elements. Once you understand that all this is an illusion, you too are there where there is no going, no movement. So long as you need yourself, you are important. If not, then not. Whatever you observe, you don't require. That principle through which you are is greater. In the waking state you are, so you have needs. In the absence of I amness, where are the needs? In spite of being, not having the knowledge of being is non-being. That state is a source of peace. Complete relaxation is forgetting oneself, then no suffering. All needs emanate from when you are. You have wants for material objects, as long as beingness is there. The sense of taste comes from the element earth. Perception emanates from air and sound from space. But the primary concept is I am. First, without sound, you know I am, as when you awaken from deep sleep. Then you say, I am. With this comes the need to be. With the departure of the vital breath, there is no sound, no language, no warmth. It's death. Death is also a concept. Nevertheless, everything dwells in a food essence quality, I am. When this disappears, it is all over. To sustain beingness, the product of food, we eat food, but that is not your identity. What is the use for striving for realization if one is realized? If you have the urge to go to the toilet, you will run. Similarly, the need of the ignorant is the urge to have knowledge. He will rush towards it. In the ignorant state, if you keep quiet, then the principle will keep quiet. Why do you claim credit for your waking and sleep states? They happen quite naturally. What authority have you on them? Even the I amness identity, can you claim to retain it perpetually? In the ignorant state you come and talk here. Until there is a firm conviction about oneself, something or other has to be done. Beingness, 16th December, 1979. Is it possible to know how we are with and without the body? For a jnani, yes, the reality is known to him and he dwells in non-duality. But all that is his form only. Even Lord Rama had to take help of the 5 elements, but he is not an individual. Now in this Maharaj you see form because of the limits of the 5 elemental forms. If you come here, where Maharaj is, you will be finished. You will see the universe as a whole. So long as your beingness is, there is form. There is no individual, only the elements. Whatever originates from earth is itself ignorance, so everything is ignorance. This earth is knowledge or ignorance. Whatever emanates is ignorance. The jnani transcends knowledge. All forms are from the earth and back to the earth. As to how the jnanis are without form, only they know. What is Aum? Is Aum Maya? The Aum and beingness are same. Whatever occurs, you just give it a name. My inner reality is quiet. Fire is flame, but quiet. So long as individual personality is there, you have pain and pleasure, no individual, and it's all over. Fire in this napkin is unseen. There is a flame in it, but quiet. From your consciousness comes space, air, and fire. Once you know the truth, then it doesn't matter whether Maya exists or not. The intellectual people will not know me 100%, whereas a simple, uncomplicated person will. Even with the slightest intellectuality, it is difficult. However, simple, uncomplicated people will easily meditate. Is there knowledge in any word? The one who is eternal is making use of words to talk. Once I know what I am and what I am not, I need not worry about other things. I am the eternal with no end, no beginning. The simple one has the knowledge to know what he is not, thereafter nothing else is needed. One has to look at oneself as to what one is. It's not necessary to worry about others. If somebody says, for instance, you are this or that, you investigate and you find out that you are greater. You are the eternal principle. All words are just rice and curry. Ultimately, it is the sattva that is born. The same entity. The rest are all just names. Father, mother, and so on, extended existence through beingness. Animals, plants, and the rest, all sattva, consciousness, is born. Womb means hidden. Hiranya garbha, the golden womb, means hidden like fire in the womb of the towel. The towel is the earth. The food sheath is vital, and so is the breath. Where are all of you heading for? Nowhere. This is a ditch of concepts. The I am is objective. It is the I am that investigates, and it is the I am that disposes itself of and stabilizes in eternity. The test tube baby has been created out of the juices of human beings. Can they create one out of vegetation? Hold a torch, and there is a beam of light. How can you run beyond the beam of light? Near and far are qualities of what? In sugar there is sweetness. Beingness is in what? What contains it? What is the cause of beingness? The food body is the cause of beingness. Syrup's sweetness is out of sugar. The body is made up of elements. The quintessence or quality, guna, is the I am. You replenish the food body or I amness with water and food. Listen to what I am saying. The I amness appears first. Out of the consciousness, the 5 elements, 3 gunas, and the world come by. Beingness means the cosmos, the universe. Where are you before birth and after death? You are in that consciousness, in the layers of the cosmos. Worship the I Am. 17th December, 1979. I have separated myself from the food body. Flowers come in different colors, but they are made up of the same 5 elements. Why should I worry about differences? From the same 5 elements arise all the forms with different time limits. No one has control over that time limit. Different forms, as per their thinking, have different activities. About you all, you have a liking for truth that has arisen from your individuality, so you are after it. Maharaj had worshipped Iswara. What is Iswara? My guru told me that the one who is listening is Iswara itself. The I am is Iswara. There are various names given to that I am, but that I am is not your body. Your knowledge I am contains the whole universe. Presently it is difficult for you to believe, so for the moment worship it. Beingness contains everything. Worship that and all your requirements will be met. Ultimately the knowledge is yours. Note, worshipping for Maharaj was in the ignorant state. Now his state is different. At the moment he sees you as himself, he contains everything. There is no individuality anymore. Whatever you see is he, and you are also contained in him. He is not an individual with form, he is all-pervasive. There is no involvement in him when he does the bhajans. His guru asked him to do bhajans, so he is chanting them. All forms have the 5 elements, and water is there in all forms. The ignorance is yours because you believe that you are an individual, not mine. And for me, there is no birth, no death, creation, destruction, and suffering will go on. Note, Maharaj is all-pervasive. He is totality. And that's his Nisarga, nature. The 5 elements, 3 gunas, and Purusha and Prakriti go on to make the nature. All forms arise and merge in it. Buddha, too, merged in nature. There is no individual, no manifestation, without the elements and Purusha and Prakriti, the male and female aspects. You think in terms of male and female, but for Maharaj, Purusha and Prakriti have no forms. Because of your body-mind, you cannot understand Purusha and Prakriti. Because of their activity, creation goes on. In reality, there is no male and female. There is steel, and there are so many products made out of it. It depends on the use as to which we want to put it. Consciousness is the same in all forms, but the behavior of each is different, which is decided at the time of birth. The differences last as long as the form is there. Forms disintegrate, but there is no difference in my experience. There is no difference between the quality of the born and the unborn child. This is the great news of enlightenment. One is born or unborn. The difference is only of birth or no birth. In reality, there is no difference. The born vanishes and again becomes identical with the unborn. The difference is temporary. My body is similar to the unborn, and so I am happy. This existence is momentary. Why give it importance? We believe it to be a long period, but it is momentary, like a dream. A 5-minute dream. But 100 years of life is contained in it. A movie depicts a life story, but it is the writer's skill. Is it real? Life is like that. All creatures, the world, and Brahman are the result of your beingness. Although it is difficult to believe, but do believe it. Only Krishna has expounded this knowledge. Everything is me, and I am everything. When I talk to you, Joseph, I am giving you information about yourself. You may think I am talking about somebody else. My guru said, I am talking about yourself, and that is how I came to know, Joseph, you have that knowledge. Prior to death, will you say with conviction that all beings, the world and Brahman, are me? Can you say that with conviction? This world is a dream, but it is I. Whatever information I heard is information about myself. Who can say this with confidence? It is very difficult to hear such confidence anywhere. We take ourselves to be a man or woman. It is a blunder that we commit because of our identification with our body. Brahman is neither a man nor a woman. Having received this knowledge by your own experience, you will become all-expansive, pervasive. This body or man-woman experience is a sickness. Don't talk to people about others, but get hold of yourself. Be established in the knowledge. Don't talk about it. Have a firm conviction. When you understand, get established, then you don't need words. Words are superfluous. Only a rare one will say all this. Krishna said, I saw myself, not the world. Whatever I see is myself. Once established in this knowledge, you can die any moment you wish. Prophet Muhammad and Christ were like this. My nature, too, is like that. They behaved like that. Their nature is my nature. Make use of this knowledge. Assimilate it. And you will lose this habit to criticize others. Krishna said, when you are that, who will criticize whom? Nisarga knows no rules of behavior. Nature is like that. Death is inevitable. So follow your guru and die. The guru says you are everything. Be that. Whatever knowledge I give is what flows spontaneously. I quote no one. Whatever I do not know directly, I do not believe. My knowledge is not knowledge of Brahman or Iswara. Brahman and Maya are natives of my nature only. Whenever I never felt any need, that state was perfect. When I felt needs, demands grew, and I was imperfect. Death is inevitable, so why not die with abidance in the Guru's words? I am Brahman. This Brahman as an individual consciousness is of course unreliable. It's kept in your palm. 18th December, 1979. You are shouting in the wilderness, by which you can bring about no change individually. Observe, be, enjoy, and don't try to bring about a change in manifestation as it is. The best state is desirelessly just being. You are talking as an individual, taking fragments into consideration, hence the misery. Can you bring about any change in the nature of water? As individuals in ignorance, you fear death and get destroyed by it. There is no death if you go to the source from where you emanate. With accumulated knowledge, you want to possess that, so there is misery. Whatever you have accumulated as knowledge, let it flow out and just be. When you give up everything, people will fall at your feet. Just watch. From the moment of beingness to the starting of everything, including what you are today, is all spontaneous. You have taken this disguise, ochre robe, in your true nature. You don't belong to it. When you realize such a state, everything will be done. Don't participate, just watch the happenings effortlessly. Rajneesh, Muktananda, and the rest are doing nothing. Everything is happening effortlessly. I am telling you from the standpoint of my own understanding. It is the logic of spiritualism that gives satisfaction. Spiritual discrimination helps you not to be unhappy. As individual, you tend to compare and thus become unhappy. The one who has merged with his guru is not afraid of any calamities. Worlds are created and destroyed. How did I survive and observe all this? Only the one who has transcended everything can employ such discrimination. I have appeared spontaneously, without my knowing, and everything is happening spontaneously. Having realized this, do what you like. Even if you sit in a desert, it will become a place of pilgrimage. My guru said, the source of the entire world is kept on your palm. Here it is. You are not that beingness. Out of sheer providence or good luck, someone is inclined to understand all this. In the process, his own being gets pleased with him and provides him all the knowledge. This sickness of beingness is the outcome of the five elemental chaos. Your own concepts make you suffer. I amness makes you suffer. People call me a jnani. Just observe. Saint Tukaram said, watch with appreciation, admiration, and no involvement. You entertain concepts and they make you suffer internally and externally. Can you, by employing any means of yours, limit manifest nature? The Ramas and Krishnas have come and gone, but nature plays by itself, unconcerned. When you die, die with totality. You are everything, die with it. How do you understand yourself? It is better to say, I have not understood, rather than saying, I understand everything. A wound. 19th December, 1979. Can you ever complete anything in a lifetime? Various studies, spiritual practices like japa and tapa and so forth. All are of no avail. It was only when I met my guru, who was beyond beingness, the absolute, that did the trick happen in a fraction of a second. The food body is the essence of beingness. That gone, beingness goes. You are not the beingness. For the one who is convinced there is no need or necessity for meditation, so long as beingness is there, meditation will go on. In the book I Am That, the method was shown. Had Maurice Friedman been alive, I'd expound it. Now the book I Am That has been transcended. Presently I have no form or name. Hold on to the knowingness, not words. Whatever you are, be there, effortlessly, absolutely, without effort. Affirm what you have heard. The listener and the listened matter is ultimately useless. The 5 elemental essence, activated by 3 gunas, is beingness. When you know you are not the beingness. Let be the beingness. You are not concerned. All talk is because of beingness. The beingness is doing all the talking, not you. Take the example of the banana plant. It is planted, it grows, bears fruit, and then weakens and dies, although some sprouts of the plant will still be there. After the age of 40 to 45, strength diminishes. Finally, there is death. Like the plant, we have birth, strength, and then diminishing. But what is now giving the talk? That birth principle, I am, the beingness, the child root. Finally, the child consciousness principle also disappears. Eat what you like, still that child consciousness principle weakens, body weakens. A dead body is heavy. That little touch, consciousness, has gone out. With that touch, it moved. The root is then reborn, but whose birth? There are so many births in so many forms, all is the play of beingness, the primary illusion, the mula maya. All talk pertains to my death, which I am experiencing. A dead person is cremated. Why think of him? After listening to my talk, why think of it again? Because we are all ultimately disposed of. It is difficult to get conviction. Meditate. Beingness is the essence, but you are not that. Why strive for conviction? Dead means dead. Once I am the body conviction is gone, do you remind yourself again that I am not the body? Let the body scream, shout, or die. Intellectuality or conceptualization is very strong. It holds on to us very strongly. That is the trouble. I have understood this. Hence, it has no control over me. This talk should be like a wound to you, a continuous pain. Go on thinking about it. A wound. 19th December, 1979. Can you ever complete anything in a lifetime? Various studies, spiritual practices like japa and tapa and so forth. All are of no avail. It was only when I met my guru, who was beyond beingness, the absolute, that did the trick happen in a fraction of a second. The food body is the essence of beingness. That gone, beingness goes. You are not the beingness. For the one who is convinced there is no need or necessity for meditation, so long as beingness is there, meditation will go on. In the book I Am That, the method was shown. Had Maurice Friedman been alive, I'd expound it. Now the book I Am That has been transcended. Presently I have no form or name. Hold on to the knowingness, not words. Whatever you are, be there, effortlessly, absolutely, without effort. Affirm what you have heard. The listener and the listened matter is ultimately useless. The 5 elemental essence, activated by 3 gunas, is beingness. When you know you are not the beingness. Let be the beingness. You are not concerned. All talk is because of beingness. The beingness is doing all the talking, not you. Take the example of the banana plant. It is planted, it grows, bears fruit, and then weakens and dies, although some sprouts of the plant will still be there. After the age of 40 to 45, strength diminishes. Finally, there is death. Like the plant, we have birth, strength, and then diminishing. But what is now giving the talk? That birth principle, I am, the beingness, the child root. Finally, the child consciousness principle also disappears. Eat what you like, still that child consciousness principle weakens, body weakens. A dead body is heavy. That little touch, consciousness, has gone out. With that touch, it moved. The root is then reborn, but whose birth? There are so many births in so many forms, all is the play of beingness, the primary illusion, the mula maya. All talk pertains to my death, which I am experiencing. A dead person is cremated. Why think of him? After listening to my talk, why think of it again? Because we are all ultimately disposed of. It is difficult to get conviction. Meditate. Beingness is the essence, but you are not that. Why strive for conviction? Dead means dead. Once I am the body conviction is gone, do you remind yourself again that I am not the body? Let the body scream, shout, or die. Intellectuality or conceptualization is very strong. It holds on to us very strongly. That is the trouble. I have understood this. Hence, it has no control over me. This talk should be like a wound to you, a continuous pain. Go on thinking about it.